crazy, crazy, crazy.
All right. Like before Blitz, I have played so many games, especially I should say State of Survival. I played that game for like 4 years. But when I started playing Blitz, it felt so much better than other games because you don't have to spend money in Blitz. You just have to like spend time and get ships and play. Like, what aspects of Blitz made it stand out for you compared to other games?
Um, so the big thing was when I started playing Blitz, as I came out of it's a long story. I started out with World of Tanks on PC. Then my PC died, and then work and stuff. But I always saw that like World of Warships, they were playing in World of Warships at the time,
Yeah.
and I ended up like having to go straight to just play mobile games on my phone, and I found War Robots, which was real fun until they super monetized it, right?
Yeah.
And so as things were going along, and then I was like, oh, and just one day I happened to pop up and like, oh, I wonder if World of Warships, can I find it on mobile? And it just so happened to be right after, I don't know, maybe like 2 months, 3 months after it released, it released period as a game. So I was like fascinated by that. And I really love like a 5v5 or a 7v7, player environment.
Yeah.
So, and that's like you said, that's the thing. When I first started, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I didn't spend any money on the game, and I was just progressing through things, trying to learn things. And the big thing with this game to me that I still haven't found anything else that is really like this, where you can get that nice like a 5v5, 7v7 battle without having to. And now, don't get me wrong, I spend a lot of money on the game, but you don't have to. And just finding that nice game where, especially with my, like I was telling you earlier, my very busy schedule, where I can just sit down, log in, maybe 10 minutes tops, I can get a game in real quick. That's the big thing about this game. It's the amount of time that, yeah, you can grind a lot, you can play a lot and grind a lot. But for a person like me right now, that this is like perfect, where I can sit down, take a quick break, log in, grab a game, log back out, and go do, continue on with my day. And that's where I'm at with this game right now. It's like just the style of the game itself, the pace of the game, and the fact that it's like I said, 10 minutes. You log in, queue into a match, play the game, log out, 10 minutes tops, right?
Yeah. Like that's what I love. Like I tried playing on my PlayStation back in the day, World of Warships, but man, the battles were too long. I was like, nah, I can't do this. I don't have patience for this.
Yeah, and that like so. I've got a very nice gaming computer now, but it's upstairs in my office, and especially like in the evening. So my wife plays World of Warships Blitz as well. Like
Your entire family plays Blitz.
my oldest son, he did have an account for a little while. He played a little bit, but it's just not his kind of game.
Yeah.
But so she plays as well. So it's just easy. The two of us, we could be, we're done for the evening. Want to sit and take a little break, and we both log in on our iPads, get a couple games in, and we're good. As opposed to anything on PC for me, where I've got to run upstairs, and yeah, it's just Blitz for me is like the perfect game right now because of just the portability and just like I said, quick matches.
Yeah, that's the point. Like quick matches, that's like even if you die, you can play different ship. Like,
Yeah, and even with like Legends coming out, I'm hesitant to try Legends. A, because I don't have the time to grind out a new game, but now we're talking 15-minute battles, so you have time to log in, pick whatever you're playing. Now you're pushing, 20, 25 minutes maybe, depending on what's going on.
yeah,
So like I said, I really like the time frame involved in a Blitz game.
that's for sure. Like in the game, I definitely love playing cruisers as I am more of a support player and I think cruisers does all-rounder job pretty well. Do you have any favorite ships or class to play and why does it appeal to you?
Well, I started out as a believe it or not, way, way, way when this game first came out. I started out kind of testing everything. Battleships were super boring at the time to me. So I was playing Russian destroyers. That
Oh,
was like my bread and butter way, way back when this game first started, was Russian destroyers. And I was okay. Looking back, I was like just an okay player with them. And then I again branched out to battleships and cruisers. And I really didn't find my niche as a battleship guy until Alistair roped me into playing competitive.
yeah,
And it was just one of those when he first grabbed me, it was okay, Sou1fire understands how to play every ship class, but he's not great at them. To now, he when he was I'm just hyper focused on battleships and I can play a couple other things, but just now I'm hyper focused on battleships because it's like a big in the tournament setting and in randoms. If things are going well, it's like a chess match, understanding like, okay, I just shot this guy. I need to have my gun, this is going to be my next target and getting everything set up so you're not wasting time.
that's true. And you also been doing Battleship gameplay videos on your YouTube.
Yeah, that was, so I had this grand vision of trying to help people get into the tournament scene.
Yep,
And I just, you know how it is. You're thinking, oh, I got plenty of time to do this, and this, and then when it all boils down, you don't have the time to do anything. But I really was wanting to get battleship players. I wanted to do like one-on-one time with them in training rooms and talk to people. And I've done that a little bit as time progresses, but I figured the easiest way for me to talk about battleships and all my gameplays that you guys watch, they're all live commentary. I'm trying to talk and play at the same time. I'm trying to like, okay, I'm going here because of this. I'm shooting at this guy because reasons. I'm trying to lay it all out as I'm playing the game. So
yeah.
it's kind of the easiest way for me to give back to the community and trying to give some knowledge, out to other players.
Like, your server actually got so many tournaments, and you have played so many tournaments. What do you think tournaments bring to the Blitz community?
The big thing is the variety of it. So, the game modes that we have obviously 7v7 randoms, we got 5v5 ranked. And then really, I mean, come on, grand battles. There's no reason to play a grand battle. No one's playing Blitz Royale. And division battles are kind of fun at times, that 3v3 setup. But the big thing the tournaments did for I know when Alistair got me into this, it's a whole new way to play the game.
Yep.
We started in I see USN was running they still run it, but they were running their shenanigans on like Monday nights and it was like 3v3.
Oh,
So that kind of got me hooked and then as when time permitted, I was able to start playing in well, it wasn't SOS at the time. It was called something different, but the SOS tournament, which is 4v4 on Tuesday nights.
yep.
And once you start playing that, and I mean, literally, there's a whole different way of looking at the game and how things are played out versus a 7v7 random, especially when you're playing in a tournament, you're in a voice chat with other players, so it's a whole different aspect to the game. So the tournaments to me make things interesting. If the game's a little stale for you, but you really still enjoy it, trying to get into the tournaments is the way to kind of freshen the game up.
Yep. Like, people like, not people like, even the best fleets in the server, they are like, most of the times hesitate to participate in the tournaments. They're like, okay, we're a good fleet, imagine we participate and we lose, what's going to happen? Like, how do you think participating in tournaments impact a player's overall skill level compared to regular matchmaking games?
Um, so it's the toughest thing, like when we first started in SOS and our first couple goes at Rule of the Waves were just epic disasters. We thought we were. I'm talking when I say we, like Alistair and myself. we thought we were pretty good players, and then when you get into the new setting and trying to understand cap control and when to push, when to not, how to maneuver around the map, you get your butts kicked. So it's, I've seen it with, the Rage team that I'm on right now for Rule of the Waves. We did talk some of our fleet mates into starting another team, and we've worked with them. But and we have some of the great, I mean, absolutely great random players on that other team. But trying to coalesce that 4v, that 4-man team or 7-man team or 5-man team together into kind of a cohesive unit, it's tough. It takes some time, and it's really tough.
Yeah, I feel like you need more patience when playing in tournaments. You have to read the game and have battle awareness.
It's like I said, it took us a long time to figure out certain aspects of the game with the tournaments, and then the other thing is like, so in SOS, for example, that's every Tuesday night. It's the first 3 Tuesdays of the month are your round robins, and then the fourth Tuesday is your finals.
Okay.
That's 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 four times a month that you're going to be in voice chat with people, and it kind of helps if you all kind of get along.
Yeah.
So I mean, you could take the best players on any server and stick them in a 7v7 voice chat together, and it just might never work out because just personalities and like some guys that I mean, literally we had a guy that he had little kids, and I'm an old truck driver, so my mouth doesn't really have a filter when it comes to curse words, and he had to trying to be in voice chat with him with not throwing in colorful adjectives was really tough. So there's a lot that goes into it.
I mean, look, I try to control myself during live stream or something or during tournament stream, but I just kind of just comes out. Some of the words I'm like, I just got so frustrated and angry at some teams, and I just in a curse. I'm like,
Yeah, exactly. And it's like I said, it was he was a really really solid player, but we just couldn't make things work because there was three of us on the team that had mouths like a sailor, and he's got like, I can't, guys, you got to stop that. My kids can hear you. You know, and our first thought is like, well, put some headsets on, and he's like, no, I got to, because he's got little kids running around, so he's got to kind of help his wife here and there.
oh
So it
god.
just, yeah, it's stuff that you wouldn't think that could complicate getting a group of guys together to play a game. There's little things like that you don't think about until it happens.
I mean, we have few friends on like voice chat, and they always get yelled at by their parents. That's so funny. While the tournament
But
is going
yeah,
on, they're getting yelled at by parents.
yeah, there's another one right there. There was a guy from USN that used to be on our SOS team, and because of the excitement and stuff that we were, we're talking, we're laughing, we're joking, but his mom, he couldn't play in the living room where the good Wi-Fi was. She'd make him go down, and if he wanted to play with us, he had to go down in the basement so she didn't hear us.
And he get no Wi-Fi.
And he gets no Wi-Fi, so he used to lag all the time.
Oh my god. You know what? You lag in the tournament, that means there's more delays.
Yeah, we had Pramo fleet in NA used to run Kumite. It was a 5v5, a goofy 5v5. Like, they'd have some really kind of off the wall ship restrictions here and there. But like the first one of that we won, we had this huge delay because that guy that was, like stuck down in his basement so his mom didn't hear us in voice chat. He was lagging, and we had to like replay games because of that.
Oh god.
Like I said, there's some silly stuff in tournaments that you don't think about that like cause problems.
Absolutely, man. Like, as I know, you have won multiple tournaments. Like, as someone who has been part of tournament winning teams, what's the key to maintaining consistent success in the competitive scene?
Um, I mean, the first thing is obviously finding a good group of guys to work with. But the big thing, this is going to sound kind of sound silly, but all right, so not every ship that how do I put this right? So ships that perform really really well in randoms, when you look at it going into a competitive thing, they don't work as good in the competitive scene. And there's ships that you wouldn't think to play in randoms that like are just absolute great ships and competitive. So like that's the first thing, is understanding what ships work, what ships don't work, and then like I said, then the big thing is just trying to find a group of guys you can get along with and play with. Um,
That's
like
so true.
and
Like you see people commenting about Petro and stuff, but in tournaments, Petro is one of the strongest ships.
yeah, Petro is fantastic. And then the other thing is, as a player, you need to be able to take constructive criticism, but you also need to be able to give constructive criticism. You can't just, because I've seen teams fall apart because someone made an error, they made a mental error, they pushed too hard, something they messed up, and then guys start piling on them with calling them names, calling them dumb, whatever, and not talking through like adults.
Yeah. No, that's so true, man. Like, you have to know your part in your team. Like, if you don't know what you're supposed to do, and people don't discuss it, people just say, you know what, you're playing this ship and that's it. They don't tell him, okay, what your job is, like what your role is in the team, kind of thing. If the
Yeah, that
team, if people don't know what they're doing, it's gonna be really hard in tournaments.
yeah, it's very tough. Like I'm been trying to coach somebody on the side, and I've been so busy I haven't been able to help them out. But before the last rule of the waves, which was tier 7 ships, I was trying to coach them a little bit, and I'm trying to teach him battleship stuff. And then when I see him in the tournament, they got him on a cruiser because one
Oh,
of their other battleship players they put so that one's tough too. Like making sure that you're, I don't want to say you don't have to be just a BB main. Like like we've got a couple guys that can play BB, and and they can play cruiser at the same time if need be, depending on the setup of the game or the tournament. But understanding that, okay, well like in a 7v7, you send one team will send 4 ships to one cap and 3 ships to the other side, and understanding what your role is on those sides.
yeah.
That's another tough one.
Like everyone has different plans and preparation for tournaments. What's your preparation process like for tournaments? Do you focus on specific strategies or practice specific ships with your team?
A little bit of both. I know going into one of the rule of the waves. So on our rule of the wave team, Golden Joaquin is our other battleship player, and I know the two of us. We probably spent we probably spent like 10 to 15 hours in the course of the time building up to that tournament, just testing battleships out 1v1, trying to find weak spots and potential strengths of these ships that maybe we didn't know about, and then that really helped us hyper focus down what ships we were going to play and how we could make them work. Because he plays strong side battleship, I play weak side battleship, so you're kind of looking to see what's going to fill that little niche of what side you're playing, and so that's a big one. Like the strategies, unless you go into like some grand strategy where you got a whole bunch of arrows pointed on a map, like going, okay, you're going to go here, and then if this guy does this, then you're going to go here, or if that guy does this, you're going to go somewhere different. Basically, we're going to hit these caps and see what happens, and then react to what the enemy team's doing to us. But the big thing is, if you got your ships locked in, what ships are going to work against certain situations, and understanding again your role in those situations, whether or not you're, like if I'm weak side and we get pushed real hard on the weak side, I know I gotta, back up and start kiting away and stalling. So that's there's a lot that goes into that, is just understanding your role and reacting to the situations properly. So if you're getting pushed real hard on the weak side, sitting and holding your ground normally isn't your best option. It's kiting away, delaying the enemy team, trying to slow them down as much as possible, so your other side can take care of the numbers mismatch over there and push around and help you.
Yeah, that's so true. Like, what are some of the biggest challenges you actually faced during tournaments and while the tournaments are going on, other than delays?
Well, yeah, that's a problem sometimes. The delays. I mean, sometimes the biggest challenge is trying to get everybody's schedules down.
Oh
Do you
yeah,
know what I'm saying?
yeah,
When you've got your, so like we just had, I know in EU they were trying to get together something, and they announced it really late that hey, we might do something. But it was so late that I couldn't. I have to plan ahead for tournaments, well in advance, or I can't do them because I've already got other stuff planned out.
yeah.
That's one of the big challenges, is trying to just get everybody on the same on the same schedule where everything's good. And again, like we are going into, where you've got parents yelling at kids. Well, if you're a teenager and you're wanting to play in a tournament, you think you've got it all scheduled out. You planned out, like, okay, we're good. And then all of a sudden your mom and dad go, hey, we're going out to dinner with so and so that night. I've seen that happen before, where we lost somebody last minute because of, parents made plans.
That's insane.
As I said, some stuff you never think about when it comes to tournament stuff.
Uh,
Or but the other one is voice communications. So I know, like, one tournament we played, one of the guys' Discord, his computer was acting up, so he lost his Discord, so we didn't have him in communication in the tournament. And then one of the other guys, just, the internet went out in the middle of nowhere. And then we had to try to, we had a substitute ready to go, kind of, sort of, but, like, he was like, it's just one of those things. He's like, oh, I'll be available after this time. And the other dude's internet goes out right before that. So we were kind of like having to, juggle around, trying to keep the team together so we weren't getting a forfeit.
oh no, that's such a pain. Yeah, when it happens, even while streaming, when such thing happens, I'm like, nah, this shouldn't happen. But sometimes it's just not in your control.
Yeah, some of that's not in your control, but I mean, like, other than that, like, the biggest challenges is just trying to find a team. Um, I know when we were playing in the old SOS 4v4, we started out with 4 players, and okay, well, Alistair and I obviously could get along very well together. So, but we were, our 2 other guys weren't quite getting along together. So you're like, hey, let's try to bring somebody else in. This isn't quite working out, and the other guy agreed. So he dropped out as a sub. We brought someone else in. Okay, he's working out good. And then the player number 3 on our team, life happens, something changes, he's got to drop out, so we got to try to just trying to juggle around and get the group of guys that get along together. That's the big thing. That's a big challenge.
Yeah, when it works, it works. When it doesn't, it all goes dog shit.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Like, what advice would you give to new players who are thinking about joining tournaments for the first time?
Be patient. That's the biggest one. It's patience. There's, understand there is some time commitment to it. You could throw together a quick team and play in every tournament, but if you're just throwing together a quick team together and it's not the same people every time, you're not going to do well. And and when you do make the effort and you're trying to get better at things and you're practicing and you got a core group of guys, then it's just don't get frustrated because you know I know a lot of people complain about our Rule of the Waves team right now that we're a super team, but they don't remember when we first started. You know, playing tournaments at this point. I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago, we were getting our we were like everybody else, getting just absolutely hammered by other better fleets and better players.
Yeah.
And it took us a while to get into a rhythm, find people. I mean, we were so excited the first month in SOS that we actually made the finals for the month. And then it's a double elimination tournament, two games into the elimination brackets and we were out already. And just and that so it's one of those like you start the month off, you win like maybe 2 or 3 games and you're not playing for the finals, and then finally you're just good enough to make the finals cut, and then like I said, 2 games you're out. It's a struggle. I mean, so the just being patient and don't get frustrated. That's like the biggest thing for new players.
Keep trying.
Um, yeah, keep trying, and like I know our rulers team. We're really good. If you message us on Discord, you got questions. A lot of us will get back and try to help you out. Um, you know, and just practicing with each other as new players. Like you don't necessarily have to. If the tournament you're going to trying to get into is a 7v7, you don't always have to try to practice against another team. Sometimes it's nice to go in, like I said, Golden Joaquin and I do 1v1s against each other to test ships, to learn weak points on other ships and your own ship, or running like 2v2s together just so you can work on communications and stuff like that. So like training rooms are your best friends as a new player.
That's so true. Like, as you know, I organize a tournament in Asia Sabah, which is Trial of Tridents tournament. How do you feel tournaments like Trial of Tridents contribute to the game, and would you like to see more community-driven events like this in the game?
I'd love to see more community events like this in there. And it doesn't necessarily always have to be a tournament. Like community run fun nights would be good ones too. But they're so tough to organize. Um, because like you brought in Trial with Tridents over into NA when we got to play one of those, and that was fun because it was oh, excuse me, we have obviously Rule of the Waves every couple of months, 7v7. We have SOS 4v4 every month. Throwing in something kind of and the Great Barrier Reef trials that was 3v3. So I mean, we had a lot of fun stuff going on, and it's just nice seeing something else come in that's different, because you were running a 5v5 for us, and that's like I said, it's nice to me. It keeps things fresh. It gives you a chance sometimes to play with someone else. Like I know for your tournament when you ran it on NA, we took our Rule of the Waves teams and our subs, and we split the main 7v7 group up, brought in a sub on each team, and then we picked up somebody else just to give them a chance to play with us.
Yeah.
So it was really nice. Kind of nice to to actually work with some other people that you don't normally get a chance to play with. And then the more community events and tournaments that we have going, that gives newer players another place to kind of work their way in, if you know what I'm saying.
No, that's so true. That's so true. All these new events are always fun, and it's exciting for the game. Like,
We had one. I don't know if you remember or not. You're on Asia server, so it was, I want to say it was two, but we're
yeah,
good now.
that's good. Like, we've seen so many updates, so many developments that happen in this game. Like, what do you think Wargaming has done right in terms of game development, and where do you think they need improvement?
Oh, well, that's a long list there. I mean, Yeah, obviously the new update I think they did pretty good with getting the turret bug fixed a while ago. That was a nice one. Um, it's tough. I mean, because I try to be fair with it. I want to point out all the good stuff they've done while pointing out the bad stuff. Uh, Fixing the gun sounds, which may not sound great on your device. Like I know when I'm recording a video up on the PC, on my computer speakers as I'm mirroring my iPad image up to my computer. Oh my god, the sounds are phenomenal.
Yeah.
Um, like I said, getting I kind of like the commander's new commander setup. I think there needs to be some tweaking on that. But there's some good things that they've done. The new ships coming in on the tech tree lines, especially. I kind of like that. But I mean, I listened to your podcast with Terry and Bob, and bots. Oh my god, when we're trying to if we're trying to build a player base and you're a new player coming into this game and you see 316 bots, sliding across the battlefield. I mean, what do you think about the game?
That's so true. Like the first few levels you start, you just play bots.
And I know I've seen it on, and I don't even know why I never thought about it when I first started playing because I think the game was new and there was a lot more players in there at the lower level, so you didn't see too many bots. But I've seen it a lot on, I pay attention to the Facebook, World of Warships official Facebook page, and then there's a couple of fan run pages for it, and you see guys like you see new players, and they're new players. Are like, how these guys are cheating, and like, no, they're the bots, and because they put a screenshot up, and you see them complaining about players cheating, and they don't understand, the two little dots in front of a name is a bot. So that's how many players does that turn off right there?
Yep. I still don't think many players know there are bots in game. The two dots with our bots.
Well, yeah, like I said, go on go on some of the social media sites and you see, like, and it's funny because you'll see it's like they're playing in a random game at a low level and every other ship's a bot and then they're complaining about people cheating. And like if one guy's posting about it, how many other people have jumped into the game, saw that and said, well, this is, I'm not playing this game, there's too many hackers.
Nah, that's so true. Like I felt the same thing when I first started playing. Like even after when I was in T rate at the beginning, I was like, "What's going on? There's so many bots." But yeah, it hasn't changed.
See, like I said, I don't remember because I've been playing this game since German battleships were getting ready to release when I started playing.
That was long time ago.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. We had obviously the Japanese, the IGN, and the American lines to start. Russian destroyers were just like almost like brand new. We had Russian cruisers, Russian destroyers, and then I think the German battleships were coming out when I started playing. So we didn't have a lot of bots though to start the early matches because there was a lot of people joining the game at that time.
Yeah,
I couldn't imagine it now. I couldn't imagine starting this game as a new player right now.
the player base is not the same. We have more bots than players.
At those early levels, for sure. I mean, I have seen a nice, normally in the morning, my wife and I will get on, and depending on what's going on for the day, we'll get, you know, 2 or 3 games in. And this morning I mean, we played 3 games this morning, and 2 games were full player matches.
Wow.
Yeah, which is crazy, in NA. I think that's pretty crazy.
In the mornings, it usually doesn't happen. When I play around 8 a.m., it's like mostly bots.
Yeah, we had one because we're playing as a obviously we're queuing in together as a team. So we had one game where it was just us versus 2 other players and everything else was bots. But I was surprised that we actually had player matches this morning.
Yeah, it never happens. Like, are there any specific features or content you would like to see added in the game or changed in the game? Like specific things.
Like the one thing, and I've said this for a while now. Okay, so you're think picture yourself as a new player in the game, and I don't know how some players don't make it to YouTube to look up to see if there's content being made to help you learn about it.
Yep.
But there should be, as you open the game, and they've got the announcements tab. If you put the announcements tab up, and they've got deals and challenges and what's new, there should be a community tab there.
They definitely should
As
be.
you're
Yeah,
going
yeah, yeah.
along,
I totally agree.
and yeah, and that should highlight. They should highlight some of the community contributors. They should be, hey, you know, maybe not just rule of the waves, but all the tournaments. They need to have some little advertisement for the that there's other stuff going on in this game. And direct newer, that way they can help direct newer players into to get resources to help them learn the game.
That's so true. Like the previous game I used to play, there's a tab where you click it and it'll show you the recent YouTube videos that was posted by community.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we should have something like that. It was built in the game. While you're playing the game, you can actually go into that and see if anyone uploaded new stuff or anything.
Yeah, see, like one of the other games that I was playing after I stopped playing War Robots. There was another game I was playing with my sons, and that one there they'd have a if they were introducing a new character to the game, they'd have their little teaser video about the new character, and then they'd find one of their community contributors. They'd pick like the two best videos they thought that highlighted that character, and they would literally post the links to their videos for, hey, this new character's come out here, watch so and so play it, and watch so and so play it.
Yep, it should be. Man, I wish Blitz does that. I really, really hope they will.
I mean, that's my big one. My big complaint about the game, beyond everything else that's been touched on by everybody else, bots and stuff like that, but just and bug fixes. But like I said, if you're a new player to the game, and like I said, I don't understand how people don't. Well, I see a new game and I think I kind of like it. I go check out YouTube. That's my first thing to figure
Yep.
out things. And I know other people don't, but
You always check
he,
social media.
yeah, it's in the here. It's in the game. Check out Slide. Check out Boblin. Vultures streaming Asia tournaments. Check these guys out. Here's Discord links to different Discord channels if you want help.
That's so crazy, man. You're so right. Like, where do you see like World of Warships Blitz going in next few years? Do you think the game has the potential for long-term growth?
I want to say yes. There's a lot of good stuff about the game, but it all comes back to, you know, are they hang on. The big thing right now that would answer that question is if wargaming would communicate better with us.
Yep.
We know what the bugs are. We know that there's bot problems. We know there's still ghost shells. We know there's I haven't seen it quite as much with bots detecting destroyers and smoke, but I haven't been playing a lot of destroyers recently, so maybe that hasn't been gotten addressed at all. um I know there's still some island hitbox issues. I know there's a lot of issues, and if things were getting fixed, and if wargaming just on their on their website page that has all the update, after we get see our patch notes, if they just ran something on that, had a list of, guys, here's the known bugs that we know about, we're prioritizing these. They don't have to tell us everything, but they need to tell us something.
Yeah, like there's no communication whatsoever. All the days we are doing releasing the update, they release the update, we get more bugs, more issues, and like again, it's like they all go quiet until we ask something. We have to beg, please tell us, please tell us, please tell us.
Yeah, or we've got to get out. We're either we're begging, and when begging doesn't work, we're pulling out the pitchforks and torches,
Yep.
and that's, I mean, that's what's going to either make or break the game. Is if obviously getting stuff fixed, and I understand this game code is old as dirt, and my wife works. She works remote from home. She works for a multi-million-dollar company,
Yeah.
and they are super good on technology, and they're updating their stuff as they can do it. And they'll push it. They'll push an update through that they've tested on the side, and it worked fine on their test area. But they'll push an update in to their main system, and something totally, something that's just way out in left field will just go wrong because the piece of code that they changed to do something else doesn't work with that old piece of code way over there. So I know that's an issue with this game. They write in new stuff, and something totally unexpected, like this update with the super ships, and they had to like ease stuff out because just they weren't expecting the code to um violently react to each other. The new code to violently react to the old code like that.
That
So I mean, I'd love to see a new game engine for this.
I love it. Yeah, absolutely. I love to see new game engine. I love to see what they did with World of the Legends and the tanks. It feels much better than what we have right now. I just feel like they have to get new engine and then they just have to try something new.
And then the other thing is I don't understand. I don't know how what agreement they have because you know how this one works. Uh, NetEase build a warship game, and then
Yeah,
either they license it from Wargaming or whatever. But we're playing off of a different game system.
like man, it's just like they're
So
like that's what I'm saying. I honestly don't know if they go what's going to happen in long run for this game.
yeah, that's like I said, it's so tough to answer. Like the game has so much potential because, like we said earlier, it's quick, it's easy. Um, I do play a tiny bit of PC here and there, so I understand angling and armor mechanics, and I understand all that the basics of PC. And obviously, we don't have all of that here. But just for a quick, little arcade shooter, this is such a great game. But
So true.
I said they're kind of torpedoing themselves by not talking to us and letting us know what's going on. That I don't know if you watch any of my videos especially when I get in rant mode about things. Like if they
Yeah,
just would talk to us,
I do. I do
you
watch your
know,
videos. Like I can hear the
oh,
frustration. Yeah. It's not
because
just
like I
you.
said,
I can hear the same frustration from like if you heard Terry and Babylon say the same thing. They both said there is no communication.
yeah, and they're CCs. They're actually well, I don't want to call them affiliated with Wargaming, but Wargaming. That's who Wargaming. We got our community managers. They're supposed to be pushing information out to us and the community contributors. And I know there's got to be other stuff going on the side that because of NDA, Terry and Boblin and Slide, none of them can talk about stuff. But I'm just like, they got to be able to tell us something.
Yeah,
Wargaming, anyways.
that's so
I don't
true.
know. Like I said, it's very frustrating when you're
Le-
having to, like for you and me, we're having to look at the tea leaves, trying to read tea leaves and tell the future with, like barely any information.
Let's just hope that things will change sooner than later because we can't face this kind of like forever. They have to change.
And event, like, if they can work that out and then just make the events a little more manageable, because these events are just, I don't know if they have a dartboard up and the guy that does the events is just like tossing blindfolded, tossing darts, and like going, "Hey, that Megadeth bundle, we're gonna charge $20 US for a tier 5 ship," and then we get these Arpeggio ships. You know what? Do you see that Arpeggios bundle where yeah, it's a
Yep.
tier 5 Congo, but here's 2,500 gold, here's 7 days of premium, here's all this stuff. And then, like the event that I was interested in, the Megadeth one, I was like, going, I'm not spending $20 on that.
Bro, honestly, someone mentioned, oh, about Oktoberfest event. I was like, wait, did we have Oktoberfest event?
I had no idea what was going on. I really didn't until
I was like, what are you talking about Oktoberfest event? What did we have? I was like, I still don't know. People are saying there was an event for Oktoberfest. I was like, I have no freaking clue what that
yeah,
was.
there was something because I got a free key for the Black Hindenburg crate and some other ships that were in there.
See?
And I'm like, how did I even get this key? Where did this come from?
Like that's that's what I'm saying. I had no idea, man. The events I missed. Oh, hopefully for Black Friday we have something good.
Well, like I said, I mean, Black Fridays. That's one of my favorites. I don't think I'm gonna go nut. I went way too nuts last year during Black Friday, so I think I'm gonna go easy this one.
Now my job
Black
is to
Friday is always nice.
Black Friday. My job is to take screenshots and share them for you.
Well, yeah, yeah, and it's greatly appreciated. Although last year, let's see, I bought what did I get last year during Black Friday? Burgonia,
Yeah.
Incomparable, Toulon.
Damn.
Uh,
You
I
went
got
on a shopping spree.
yeah, and then what was the other one? I got one other ship out of there. I mean, I laid out way too much money on Black Friday.
Yeah, as long as you didn't get FDI, you're good.
No, 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 I don't. I'm not gonna sit there and say I don't play carriers because I do have some games in carriers, but it's tier 5, tier 6. That's about as far as I go.
Same. Like I have Kaga, I have Saipan, I have Indom. I barely touch them. I just play TF5 aircraft carrier and then you relax.
Yeah, and that was that was another thing that I would like to see, but I'd like to see some sort of. See, I don't even know if it's going to work or not. Though I'd like to see like a dive bomber thing where you got to aim actually like kind of aim your dive bombers a little more than this just click and forget that you can do.
Yes.
But I don't know how well that's going to work. And at this point in time, like it was pretty important to me for a while. I was like really pushing it and talking about that we need some sort of dive bomber aiming rework. But now I'm just like, could you just talk to us, Wargaming? Can you like change the bots up a little bit? There's all these other like different things that now that's just like, oh, I don't even care about CVs anymore. Just fix the game to where we can keep playing it and we're getting new players.
Like we're losing what the priority is. Like it's not just we're like there's so many issues going on. We don't know which one to prioritize first.
That's it right there.
Yep.
And that's the frustrating thing when I'm looking on social media and I'm like, guys, could you just tell us something? Tell us something. Not just not just when we start screaming everywhere that we get a and I'm not blaming Valk or Bella because Valk's been fantastic to deal with.
Oh man. Like
Um,
imagine you open your Discord and you see 100 people asking same question. Even if you answer, you will get 100 more people asking same question because they didn't see your answer.
yeah, I mean those two. I feel so bad for
Bella,
those two as
yeah.
community managers because I wonder if their DMs on Discord are just they've got like every day Valk opens up his Discord and sees 300 direct messages from
Yep.
players bitching at him.
You see, like it's insane. Community sometimes can be really hard to deal with, but we have a really
Yeah,
good community.
exactly. And like I said, I feel sorry for him. And I know he says Valk has like DM me whenever, and I've talked to him a couple times like and like there was actually a on the social media pages they were actually promoting like the SOS tournament. And I was like, hey, dude, thanks a lot for that. That's like so nice to see that this is actually getting promoted by wargaming on somewhere else besides us trying to do it. And
He,
then I think that's the only time that happened was that one time where they promoted SOS once and that was it.
yeah, like he's very supportive and like helpful. He's always there if you want to talk to him.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that yeah, like I said, even thinking about that though, that's frustrating right there. That we have these tournaments that are out there and they don't get any. There's no extra
Recognition.
support from wargaming like
Yeah.
promoting them.
I feel like yeah, we definitely need that. If you get promoting from wargaming, you get more people join the tournaments.
And then I don't know if you watched. Do you end up ever catching like Bob Lynn's EU Rule the Wave stream?
Yep, yep. Like during Ruler of the Waves, I stream Asia server now, but I always watch entire NA server and entire EU server as well.
Well, because and when we think about world time zones, Asia's in a bad spot for NA players to watch it because of the time,
Yep.
and NA's in a rough spot because for we miss out on the European players watching. So like the EU side of things is when most everybody's gonna be able to see that tournament, and just watching the amount of people that are watching that live stream, and I don't know when other games that I played when they actually had tournaments that they'd go nuts like trying to get people watching them. So there was always free codes in the chats. There was always giveaways of good stuff, not just like here's a little gold and here's a tier 6 ship. There was a lot of the game itself promoted some hype for the tournaments to try to get more viewers.
Yeah, imagine if wargaming is like, you know what? We're gonna stream the videos for 1 year. Like for next few tournaments, we're gonna stream them live. Oh, it's gonna be so good if they does that. It won't happen, I know.
I mean, yeah, I mean this is a very niche game. I understand that we don't have a lot of in the grand scheme of things we don't have a huge player base, but if there's whoever's doing the social medias, like hey, they just announced Rule of the Waves, the preliminary stuff for next month. I think they're going to do it in the middle of November,
I'm actually surprised. I
and
thought Ruler of the Waves is only 2 times a year.
I think they can do it. I think they're allowed 3 times.
Okay.
But yeah, they're only because of the prize pool. They're only allowed so many times a year.
Yep.
And then that's the other thing. Like they're also right now, as soon as Rule of the Waves gets announced, there should be on Wargaming. So they got Facebook and Instagram. There should be like, okay, hey, Rule of the Waves. It's been announced. These are the dates. This is the Discord channel. How you sign up. This is how you sign up. And then there should be a community note page in the game going, hey, Rule of the Waves is signing up. If you want to know more about it, check out this Discord. Check out these guys' YouTube pages so you can learn about it.
I
There
wish it.
needs to be a lot more on the wargaming side. Just I mean nothing crazy. Just more posting about it, more information about it, and put more stuff out for other players to. Because if you notice, the tournament scene is the player base constricted, so therefore we lose more tournament players.
That's so true. That's so true, bro. All right, we're into our final question. What advice would you give to other players or content creators who face burnout or frustrations within the game? Oh, so
Oh,
many things comes to my mind.
so tournaments for me was one way to fix burnout in the game, but now that life happens and because it used to be my son and I were playing on SOS on Tuesdays. Well, he got a new job. He can't play on Tuesdays. And I kind of wanted my Tuesday nights back. So I stopped playing in those tournaments. So now I still have a couple more that I play in. But like for burnout for me now, um, content creation was one of my fixes to do the burnout to make things a little more interesting for me. But if you're like, God bless, if you're grinding this game out consistently, I think the only way you can fix burnout is to take a break. Step away from the game for a week, which has got to be rough for the content creators.
Yeah, that's so
That
true.
one, I don't. That's a good
Take
one.
break.
That's a really good question.
People usually, even if they're losing streak, they keep playing and playing and getting angry. I'm like, if I lose 3 battles in a row, I'm gonna take a break for an hour. I'm like, I don't need this.
Yeah, and I don't know about you, but normally if I'm queuing into a random match, chances are great as I'm queuing into the random match, I can look at the team setup and go, okay, you know what, I don't even know, this one's going to be a loss no matter what. But
That's
I don't know. I don't know what else to tell people besides because there's so much stuff that's frustrating right now with bots and bugs. I mean, I don't want to sit there and push people away from the game, but sometimes you just got to take a break from it for a little while. You know, a day, take a couple days off, and then come back to it.
yeah, that's so true. People has to know you deserve a break. You can take a break.
You know, I was laughing at Boblin when he because he and I told him I said, dude, you screwed yourself because he did like 2 months in a row he ground out the be number one trophy guy on EU 2 months in a row.
Oh my God.
Do you know how much playing that took? There's no way I could do it.
Bro, I know
There's
because
no way I could have
few
done that.
months ago I was top 5. Oh my
How many games did that
God.
take you?
It's not about how many games. At least, seriously, last week of the month I had to play 10 hours a day
Oh,
just to be because I keep jumping between top 5 and top 8 if I stop playing like 10 hours or at least 8 hours a day. And at the time I was
wow.
working from home, so that helped. And I was playing like night, day and night non-stop. My partner, she was
See,
like, "You're never ever doing this again." Since then, I was not even top 100 because I was just chilling. I finished my dailies, my weeklies, and that's enough for me.
yeah, and that's enough for me to my goal every month is to get Legends League.
Yeah.
That's it. Just as long as I can get up there to get the rewards. Um, when you're talking about like you having to play like 10 hours a day, I don't even get 10 games in a day, let alone. Today's probably going to be. Let's see, I got 3 games in this morning, and I might get like 2 more games in this afternoon. So it's like 5 games is about what I do a day, and that's all I can do.
Yeah, I think I played like 10 games. That's it today. That's enough. Like I finished my dailies, nothing to worry.
Yeah, like I said, for burnout of the game, though, it's unfortunately you got to take your foot off the pedal and kind of ease up a little bit.
Don't overdo it.
Yeah, that's all I can think of. There is just don't overdo it, and like I said, when you just go into a little bit of a bad spell, and I used to be real bad about it. I used to have quite the temper, and if the game went bad or I did something dumb, my iPad might go, flying across the room.
Oh yeah,
I stopped doing that.
I used to do that. I used to throw things all around. I used to throw the TV remote, AC remote everywhere. And then I
Oh,
stopped.
yeah, there's been a few times where my iPad or my phone went flying into and I throw it towards the couch or something like that. But
Yeah.
because I got so frustrated, and that's like my wife's like, maybe you should just take a break, stop playing the game for a little while.
Oh,
And I'm
we
like, yeah, maybe you're right. That's the way to go. Yeah, that's tough. And I don't know about you, but I can't find. I'm having trouble finding something. Not that I want to replace this game, but if I'm having trouble finding something to take a break from this game with, because I don't want to use. I don't want to go on the PC and find games. I'm looking for like something on mobile. That way I can be sitting downstairs and I can jump on and get a quick game and do something besides warships. But I'm still not finding another game that
Nah,
has all the aspects of this game that I like, you know?
I tried other games. 90% of the games involve money or there's advertisements every 5-10 seconds. Every button you
Yeah.
click, there's advertisement pop up.
I'm testing when I have time on the side. I'm beta testing another mech game, a 5v5 mech game. It has promise, but it's only an early beta, so I don't know how well that's going to turn out. But it's still not the gameplay that I get in World of Warships Blitz.
Oh,
So I'm kind of a little frustrated with that. Like going, I just can't quite find that mobile game to if Blitz pisses me off to a point because like when I was playing War Robots, I spent money on that game. I liked it. The company got bought out by another company. That company went into I know people complain about World of Warships Blitz prices. They have no idea how bad it can be with monetization. War Robots went into a just absolute hyperactive pay to win scenario.
yeah.
And I kept playing and they had skill based matchmaking, so I was screwed in that game because I was good at the game, but because I was good at because I was good at the game, I was getting having to face players. It'd be the equivalent of having to go in World of Warships with tier 8 ships versus super ships sometimes.
Oh,
You know,
yes. Yep.
so I just one day I'm like, okay, I'm done. I deleted the game and I was done with it. And I know at some point World of Warships Blitz is going to do that to me, but like right now, like I said, I can't find anything that remotely resembles this that I really enjoy. So here I am still.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen in our game now. We'll be fine with that.
Yeah, and like I said, and all we need is wargaming to be a little more open about what's going on. Like I said, maybe a list of bug fixes that they or bugs that they know is going on, and a just an update of what they're working on. Hey, we know this is happening. We're still working on it because obviously we don't want bug fixes creating more bugs.
Yep.
So I guess the only thing they could do is do a new engine for us, but I don't know if that's going to happen.
I don't see it happening.
We'll,
Definitely
we'll
not.
cross our fingers. I mean, that would fix like probably every issue.
Oh yeah, absolutely will.
So but I don't know how big the staff is. I don't know how the development team works. I don't know any of that. So I'm
We just have to wait
cross our
and see.
fingers, hope for the best.
We just have to wait and see.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right, brother.
So before you cut us loose here, so I got to ask you a question.
Yeah, sure.
How tough is it to Okay, so you stream Rule of the Waves on Asia. You're also hosting Trial with Tridents on Asia, and you've also started doing it on NA. So, because I don't get to talk to too many organizers. How tough is that for you to try to balance streaming tournaments, running tournaments, and streaming them on two or three different servers?
It is really tough because you have different crowd. In Asia, you have different crowd. In NA, you have different crowd. In NA, I feel like it's much easier for me in NA because you have more interest.
Okay,
You have people showing more interest towards tournaments in NA server compared to Asia server. Like Asia server, they give me heart attack because they don't register until literally last day. We had 7 teams registered, like 7 teams that participated in the recent Asia tournament. All 7 teams registered 1 or 2 days before the tournament.
wow.
So I was thinking, sitting here thinking, should I cancel the tournament? Should I postpone the tournament? Because I got good rewards from Wargaming for this tournament because it was the last tournament for this year in Asia server. So I was like thinking all that, and then we had 7 teams on last day. I was like, oh my god, these people are giving me a heart attack. And then I had to keep changing. 2 teams registered literally 5 minutes before the registration ended.
Wow.
I already made the schedule, everything, I announced everything, and then I have to go back and change everything again.
So the reason I asked that question is, for those of you, for those people that are going to be listening to this that don't know, all of these tournaments are run by players,
Yes.
and just hearing what you're talking about, the headaches going on. Am I going to have enough teams? Should I postpone? Oh, now I had teams drop out. I got to rework brackets out of the, like at the snap of a finger. Um,
A lot goes into
that's
it. Like people think we're just making announcement, but in the background we actually reach out to captains. Every time we make announcement, we also reach out to the captains and tell them this is what we announcing, this is the new rules, this is the rewards and everything. So it's about the communication.
Yeah, that's one of the toughest things. So if somebody's interested, so if somebody's listening to this and you're interested in tournaments but maybe not playing them, I know Vulture probably like wouldn't mind having a volunteer or two to help him out with his. I know the guys at Rule of the Waves wouldn't mind some extra help.
Absolutely.
SOS, all the tournaments could use extra help.
And the problem, and one more thing is like people who work for other tournaments, they get rewards. But the trial of tournaments, we did 6 tournaments so far, and then we got zero rewards for admins or streamers for trial of tournaments.
That's
So far I got zero gold. Like I did 6 tournaments, I streamed 6 tournaments, I took zero gold or any reward.
yeah, that's the same thing with the guys that is when Sly and Boblin and crew streaming Rule of the Waves, they get a tier 8 ship that they can pick, but
Yep.
then they choose just to try to build up viewership. What do? They give it away because best wargaming's done on a Rule of the Waves tournament to help bring in more viewers. Is I think what a tier 6 ship is the best they've done.
Yeah, I'm like,
Anyway, no, I was just curious to hear because
yeah,
I've talked to the organizers of SOS and not too many on Rule of the Waves, but I was just kind of curious to hear
it's
your point of view on how frustrating it can be to try to run a tournament.
it's fun, but lack of communication frustrates the organizers and the admins. You try to put everything out there, you try to be available for everyone for any question, but people actually don't ask anything until the tournament starts.
Yeah, that's frustrating,
Yeah,
especially when you have
exactly.
especially if you got newer players that don't understand the tournament thing, and oh, that's the other thing for tournament guy people that are interested. If you sign up for a tournament and something in real life happens, emergencies, whatever. I mean, we understand that, but when you just show up out of the blue, 10 minutes late to your match, and then cry that you just had a forfeit because you're late. I mean, you are committing to something for God's
Yeah.
sakes.
So those are some things like it's fun. It's definitely like I had all that things happening and then this podcast idea came up and I was like I got the idea and I was like straight away I'm doing this. I'm not putting this aside. So that's why I started this podcast and it's fun.
Like I said, your first two sounded great, and I was just like, when you said, "Hey, I'd like to do one with you," I was very excited.
Yeah, next scene and I'm recording Sly in 10 hours.
All right, well, and that I guess I should let you go so you can go get to bed.
Oh yeah, it's 10 past 12 now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much for taking time, brother. I really, really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, man.
Of
It was
course,
it was
man.
it was real fun.
I wish you good luck, okay? We'll speak to you
Yep. Have a
soon.
good one, sir.
You too. Thank you. Bye.
Hey, bye.